Welcome to Chatty Coffee Crew. Here's your host, Box. Oh yeah! Whoa! Ho, 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 girl! Whoa! Oh, man! So, get out of here! And the horse you rode in on. Huh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all. Welcome to Chatty Coffee Crew. You might be saying, we don't feel welcome, and we understand. That's because it's not that more welcoming of an environment when it starts off like that. We apologize, but, how do you get to work? Okay? We can't drive our new Teslas that Elon of the Musk has given to us for Grok not knowing shit about us, but, he hasn't sent us one, so we gotta take the horse to work. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, we have got a show for you today. It is free, so you get what you pay for. But welcome to Chatty Coffee Crew. Today's topic is going to be super coffee. So, where do you go with super coffee? Mainly, we go to the realm of we enjoy starting our day off with a cup of coffee, all right? And when we don't have said coffee, okay, whether it's through our addiction to it or our desire to have it on a repetitious basis, as in daily, if we don't have it, then we'll be darned we don't suffer one of those little caffeine withdrawal headache things. And you might be saying, like, maybe take some sort of pill for that, or maybe start and switch to a bunch of caffeinated soda. And it's like, yes, those are ideas. But when it comes down to it, a warm cup of coffee is just what was ordered. Excellent. Well, we see all nuns of you wanted to join us today, and that's entirely fine because we know all ones of you will want to watch this later when you get up work. Anyhow, today we're talking about super coffee, and we like to think that coffee is super because that's how we enjoy starting our day off. And when you have a item or a beverage like coffee, then you're like, I either like or don't like this. Yes, hello, hi. Welcome all ones of you to Chatty Coffee Crew. Today's topic is super coffee, where we are talking about pretty much whatever you want. Otherwise, we're just padding this out and floating it to a minimum of about a 10-minute mark at the minimum and go from there. But yes, all ones of you joining us, hello and hi. You are welcome to sway the entire conversation. In fact, you know what? No one wanted to talk about coffee anyway. We'll change the entire show right now on a dime because you guys have way more interesting stuff for us to talk about that you wouldn't want our opinion on anyway. But on occasion, people are like, there's got to be some old-ass boomer on the internet somewhere with some first-hand life experience that we need to take to heart and not repeat. So, that's us. Anyhow, hello, Blake. Nice of you to join us. Where's Box? It's backwards and reverses, but, everyone needs to learn a skill, and our skill is requiring everyone else to read that shit backwards. Maybe we'll fix it later. We haven't decided yet. We're under construction here. We'll get a better little repertoire of, this, that, the other. But, we're under construction. There's some stuff going on. The studio's still, let's be honest, it's still not done. You might have said, what? We can't tell. It's like, well, Bob lost his fucking hand while he was doing some of the construction. We've had to pick up his slack. High five, Bob. Thanks a lot. When you're doing 1.5 person's jobs, it's pretty crazy. Anyhow, we're glad that you're ready. 'Cause that's good. We should have been ready before we started this, but, there's a thing called work. And let's be honest, if you're not getting paid to do it, it's less incentivizing to do. So, where you have your apparatuses that, are steadily, let's say, employed, it's a little easier for them to do what their boss wants. Hold on. Sorry, management's calling. They think like they know how to run the place. What do you want? We're on time. We're doing the show. Oh, yeah, we were late as shit today. Yeah. Well, you know what? You were late in telling us we should have really had a lawyer read that contract before we signed it. So, leave us alone. Management wanting us to stay on topic, stay on point, get back to coffee. No way. All ones of you need this hard-hitting segue into nothing. But okay, back to coffee. Management feels they know how to run the place. Super coffee. Well, what's super about it? Is it super that you enjoy the flavor? Is it super that you enjoy the taste? Is it so super of a product that entities and apparatuses like Starbucks have sprung up worldwide, especially nationwide, and sell $5, $6, $7, $8 cups of coffee? And people are like, oh, hell yeah, that's a crazy cup of coffee. I mean, some of them even like it. They might daringly say, this is good. I enjoyed waiting in that line to pick it up, even after I placed an order in advance. It's like they wanted it to be super fresh, so they didn't fucking make it at all, and I had to wait anyway. Or, the other end of that, they're super busy, and you place an order, and they're like, hey, let's make this real quick. But then you can't get to it, and it's like, wow, all of this coffee sure did get cold fast. But that's neither here or there. No matter how you look at it, coffee can be something that brings you together in a group at a business or an establishment like Starbucks. Maybe you're like, hey, let's get together for a business of the meeting. We'll go to Starbucks where they offer us Wi-Fi and mediocre coffee at an exorbitant price. Or maybe for you, it's, a better deal. I don't know. Money might work differently for you than us. But the point is that no matter how you enjoy your coffee, whether you're brewing it from an instant, one cup at a time, K-Keg cup brewer, K-Cup, Keurig brewer, I don't know, whatever that's called, the K-Cups, the individual cups, whether you're brewing it one at a time, whether you're brewing an entire pot at home, whether you are waiting and enduring those lines at the Star of the Bucks. You need to go by. Yes, excellent. You have yourself a great day. Thanks for swinging by and tolerating us for the time that you spent. We do appreciate it, as it lent us to having seconds and seconds to up to 1 to 2 minutes more of content because you chose to participate. And believe you me, it means a lot to us because we can pad out a lot of stuff, but man, trying to hit those, monikers, that's kind of a pain. It's like the goalpost keeps moving, and it's moved on us for, I don't know, about 8 years. On certain platforms we may or may not put content out on, but that's beside the point. What is a point is that when you're talking coffee, no matter how you enjoy it, as long as you are enjoying it, that's what matters. You might be saying, maybe it's a rainy, cloudy, gloomy day. But when I sit or stand on my front porch or on my neighbor's porch because it's nicer than mine, get off my porch, are you trying to steal my newspaper again? No! Sorry. No matter where you're standing and enjoying your coffee, like, why'd you try and open my door? Jeez. Picky? Anyhow, no matter how you're enjoying it, it's like, I was out of creamer, I needed some of yours. God, Bob, you lose one hand helping us in construction, and all of a sudden, you don't want us to come help ourselves to your stuff. Weirdo. Anyhow, Bob's a great guy. We love Bob. But we also love Bob's Choice in creamer. That's why we wanted some. We're like, Bob, now that you're up, hook up your creamer. He's like, if we give it to you, will you go? It's like, yeah, I guess. Then he gave it to us, and we decided to stay. Bob was like, damn it, we knew you were lying to us. But that's just how it goes. So no matter how you choose to enjoy your coffee, usually we choose to enjoy ours with Bob. And he's good conversation. He acts like he doesn't want to listen to us, and he'll put on headphones or turn up the TV really loud, but we know he's there. We know he's listening. He can't fool us. Just like all the ones of people that we ask to tune in and not listen to this. You don't have to watch the stream. We just need those hours of watch time. So, you pop it on, you head out to work, you leave it going, bada boom, bada bing. You don't gotta listen to nothing we's gotta say, and we gets the view times. You know, it's a beautiful win-win, because you don't have to sit through the entirety, and we get what we needs out of it. So there you go. Look at that symbiotic relationship that is developed. Hello and hi, all ones of you joining Chatty Coffee Crew. We have segued and talked about all sorts of stuff today. Okay, no, mainly just coffee, but we did also talk about, well, no, that's pretty much it. So, however you enjoy your coffee, that's entirely up to you. But as long as you are enjoying it, that's what matters. And like we said, if there's ever a time or a, period in our day where we don't get to start our day off, not working, not doing anything productive, and we can't just sit there like a bump on a log and drink some coffee for, a pot or two, okay, before society's like, hey, be productive, right? It's like, we're trying to enjoy our coffee. We're still waking up, okay? We might have been awake for a while at some point, and we might be feeling productive-esque at some point in time. Hello and hi, all ones of you joining us. Yes, hello. We are talking coffee. That's not the topic every day, but today it is, because we're kind of late to work. And by late to work, this is kind of like volunteer. No one wants us to, but, there's no real rules that say you have to turn away all the volunteers. So, they let pretty much anyone stream. And, whilst a lot of people probably regret them doing so, okay, we understand that. Here we are. So, not every episode's about coffee, but every episode is about something, usually. Unless we just totally wing it, in which case we rely heavily on the ones of you that end up participating in the chat ones at a time. And believe you me, it means a lot to us, because it garners us that extra sentiment, that extra ability to talk out and pad an entire episode. And by the end of it, you might be saying, there was nothing that was talked about that was necessarily pertinent to my day, to my immediate life, to my immediate lifestyle choices and ways of going about things. But for a brief moment in time today, I got to sit back and enjoy some coffee. If only that dude wasn't talking through it. Well, next time you'll know to mute it and just let us play in the background. Like we said, you don't have to hear us to enjoy it. You don't have to enjoy us to enjoy us. In fact, there's probably little enjoyment to be found. But what there is to be found is us trying to make our way milking the system. And the only way to do that is, believe it or not, with your help. That's why we reach out to all ones of you that watch this. So, anyhow, back to coffee, which I guess is more important. So, there are many iterations of coffees, and you have to think to yourself, how do you prefer to go about enjoying it on a regular day? What makes your most super coffee build? Is it one of those predetermined and blended beverages that varies by location on which barista makes it or another at Starbucks? Are you a big pumpkin spice of the latte? That's my most favorite of the coffees in the fall time. You have to go to Starbucks the minute it rolls out. Get you a cup. There's no wrong way to find your super coffee. Ours happens to, be pretty much anything that's hot and as close to free as can be. Because we like, how do you say it? Not spending money we don't have. So, you make the best out of it. And, for ones of dollars at a time, you buy yourself a bag of coffee and you run some hot water over that bad boy. Before you know it, you work your way up to lifting a couple handfuls of creamers from McDonald's in the morning, motherfuckers! No, shh, don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be a customer and use those creamers for their coffees that you buy from them. But maybe that's your super coffee power. You buy a coffee one day to have a coffee another. It's like, two for the price of one. Yes, McDonald's probably frowns on it, but they don't know how many of those creamers you're going to be using. Be like, yes, I like 14 creamers in my small coffee. Well, I only saw you put 2 in, sir. Well, don't worry where the other not 14 left are going. Math. It's 12. We know it's 12. Okay? The point is that, yes, McDonald's may frown on that. And they may say, sir, do you really need those napkins as well? It's like, dude, I'm out at the house. Stop locking your toilet paper up. We'd be set. Just joking. Stop stealing shit from restaurants. It's not cool. For real. You know what the price of cost of goods is? Expensive. They really don't like it when you go to town on all their extra product. Now, you have some staff members that are oblivious to what cost of goods entails, and you're like, hey, can I get some extra napkins? They're like, here's a sleeve. It's like, thanks. We didn't need that many, but yeah, hell yeah. Or, hey, can I get, some extra ketchup? And it's like, bam, Mount Everest ketchup in your face. It's like, wow, that's a lot of ketchup. Like, I got a small fry. The point is that no matter how you enjoy your coffee, no matter how you get your, additional coffee cups in, whether you're getting a cup at McDonald's one day and you have a creamer or 2 left over to enjoy a cup another. Remember, that's wrong, so stop taking extra shit you don't need. These business owners are trying to make hundreds of millions of dollars and buy boats and fancy cars and houses and stuff. So, you take in the bottom line of their food costs is not nice. It really isn't. Let them do what they're going to do. But we're not going to tell you how to live your life or anything like that, because that's not our place. We can give you boomer advice. We can give you, maybe hot takes on things that have happened over the last few decades in history. We can give you elements and perspectives, maybe perhaps, from that generational gap and divide, ranging all the way from the super late 70s, early 80s, all the way through to the present. And you might be saying, yes, all the present stuff, we're probably not so good at. We're more boomer-esque, okay, obviously. The tech of the knowledge isn't there. The, elements of the digital forefront of, okay, more technology isn't there, right? We get it. We know it. But what is there is bunch of crap, and nothing like regurgitating it for any ones of persons that need some laid-on knowledge and philosophy. We did minor in philosophy in college, after all. It's almost like we're partially qualified. However, the thing about philosophy is that even if you didn't go to college and major or minor in it, in our case, anyone can philosophy, so you don't even have to go to school or college or nothing for it. But, if you are going to study it, they really do push early on a lot of that logic and argumentation stuff, and man, is that not fun to read? So, you might want to get that out of the way first, because that's what they usually recommend, and for real, it's not a fun read, unless you enjoy it, in which case, you should have been in our class so you could read it and just tell us what it's about. Where were you on that one? Anyhow, that's what we're here to provide. Those coffees that make it a super coffee. Those endeavors that make it worth participating in. You might be saying, I haven't seen anything here worth participating in. If anything, sir, it's a reason of avoidance. And, yes, that's entirely true. Wait a minute. I don't know. See, we go off the rails when we don't get our fix of coffee in all the way. And right now we're only here. So that means, unfortunately, there's still this much of the show to go. Gulp that shit. What? No! Don't gulp. We can't read it. It's backwards. Well, we can, believe it or not. We do can reads on occasion. And whilst we might not pronounce everything the correct way or the right way, we know don't and we know gulp. And if there's one thing you're not supposed to do, it's gulp coffee, especially hot coffee. Granted, we've been chatting for a sec here, so ours is probably ice cold, and we could gulp it. Do that shit, then this shit. What? Rude? Jeez. Lukewarm. Not that enjoyable. Kind of like the stream, you know? If there wasn't a ground floor base level of crap, okay, which is this, all right? We off the cusp. We're the ground floor, we call it. We are the baseline, crappiest celebrity that can be in existence, okay? AI's taken over the show of good quality content. We can't compete with that. And everyone knows this. But what we can compete with, okay, what we can do is be the worst thing people could see so that everything else that is done is better, okay? You can't have your good quality out there without your bad quality. You can't have your favorite celebrities without those assholes that end up doing stuff whenever that you're like, man, why is this guy still doing this? Okay? The point is that there's a niche and void that needs to be filled, and someone has to be the worst celebrity of them all. That's us. We call dibs. Therefore, and that way, we don't have to exert effort or work or necessarily improve any aspect of anything. But, you know, it just kind of works itself out. And then everything else that you watch is guaranteed to be better. You see how it works? You can't have good without the bad, right? The yin and the yang. Not every coffee show's going to be good. We can't all be The View. We wish we had those hard-hitting conversations like they have on that show. Oh, man. In fact, I hope we're not competing with their numbers now. If so, that's completely accidental. What time does The View come on? That's what we should be watching, right? Those good streaming shows. But not all of them can be good. And that's our place. That's our existence here. We understand that. Because the sky is always the limit. Unless there's a glass ceiling and you're certain something or another. But, you know, we joke and kid. But those do inherently exist in a lot of, you know, we would say different fields and things of that nature, or they seemingly do. We can't speak that they absolutely do with a 100% truth because we have not worked every field, but believe it or not, we've done a lot of them. And there are a lot of folks, a lot of folks out there that have as well. So there you go. Anyhow, coffee. No matter how you enjoy it, whether it's a good cup or a bad cup, it's coffee. You couldn't have a good cup of coffee if you didn't have the occasional crappy cup of coffee. Now, obviously, if it's a really crappy cup of coffee, that sucks. That sucks really bad. Have you ever driven across of the country, okay? Say you're going to the next town over. It's like, whoa, a whole 30 minutes away. Okay, so you're going to be on the road all day. You get halfway there, 15 minutes into the drive, and it's like, oh, I'm so tired of this drive. I better pull over and get a coffee at this gas station, right? So you pull over, you get a coffee at the gas station. It looks good. Not the gas station or the bathrooms, you know, the coffee. The coffee looks good. Well, of course not the gas station or the bathrooms. It wasn't a Buc-ee's. Huh? What? Cool. This guy's weird. Yes. Huh? What? So, you stop there. The coffee looks good. You're like, well, I'll risk it for the biscuit. Let me get me one of these cups of coffee. When was this brewed 7 days ago? Well, that was 8 days ago, sir. Oh, excellent. Well, it looks delicious. Let me spend my 2 to the 3 of the dollars on this cup of the coffee. And you get it, and you're like, oh, man, I'm excited for this. And you go, and you get back in your friend's car because they hadn't filled up gas as they were trying to ditch you there and leave you, and it wouldn't start. And they're like, start! And we're walking to the car like, hey, what you doing? You're not leaving us, are you? Like, damn it. And right when we get in, like, no, we weren't leaving you. Ha, sucker. We're still going on this long cross-country journey. We're getting you the next city over and leaving you there. You'll never make it back. What? Like that can happen 4 times in our lives. Anyhow, people just keep dropping us off at the next town. That's probably how we got in your algorithm. The internet of the net does the same thing. It just drops us off randomly into people's feeds, and they're like, hey, do you like crap? Most people are like, oh, hell no. But on occasion, someone falls asleep while it first turns on and accidentally tunes into, a chunk of it. And then before you know it, the algorithms are tricked into thinking that there's something worth sustenance there. You know what that sustenance is? Unfortunately, crap. But, it's decent crap sometimes. Okay, maybe not, but what it is decent is filler of voids. Because if there was nothing at all, then there would probably be more reason to be productive. But no, I can't be productive. This dude's spewing crap. We need to make sure that he apologizes for it later. Did you apologize for your last stream yet, sir? We're sorry we did not. In fact, hold on. Management, we got to check in with the booth real quick. Hey, that last stream, how many apologies do we owe the general public? Oh, just 3. Well, hell yeah. All right, leave us alone. Excellent. Management says we don't owe you shit. So, sorry that you were looking for an apology, but we don't have one to give you. Anyhow, no matter how you sit back and enjoy a cup of coffee on a regular basis or a not regular basis, those crappy cups that you get at those gas stations that you're traversing down can really be absolutely, horrendously disgusting. And you're like, oh. Or whatever your reaction is, I don't know. We just think you act like that sometimes. Well, I mean, that's not an impression of ourselves. Anyhow, if the coffee's really bad, if it really sucks, you're probably not going to enjoy drinking it. But it's like, man, I spent $3 on this. Better choke this swill down, and we usually do. And it's unfortunate, because say it's on a stretch of the highway, or a portion of road, or a time of the day or night where nothing else is open. There's no other options. There is no other cup of the coffee that you can stop and get. You're forced into that crappy 8-day-old cup of coffee at that random gas station that happens to be open. That the coffee looks good. The bathrooms in the gas station don't. Yes, we've established that. Okay, that's given. It's like in a proof in geometry. There's stuff that's given. Like this show. It's given that this show is, bottom line, ground floor level of crap. Obviously. So that way, the expectations aren't as high as, let's say, Joe of the Rogan. Like, people watch that, they're like, we want to be entertained. We fill a different void. People are like, shit, nothing else is on. That's us. So, today's episode, like we said, is coffee, and we've covered a variety of takes on coffee. None of it of sustenance, really. But as we stated before, to the one individual that was watching this earlier, it wasn't even our mom this time. They're like, coffee, huh? Or something like that. I don't know. We don't remember. But not every episode's about coffee. And like we said, we change stuff on a dime. So if there's any hard-hitting boomer information, like we said, that you want to get some insight from a genuine, ridiculous boomer, then now's your chance. Just because we're a crappy internet celebrity doesn't mean anything that we convey to you isn't going to be crappy as well. But on occasion, there might be some life experience thrown in there that you can utilize vicariously through us. That's a services offered, services rendered. No thanks, I'll pass. Oh, good, smart. Smart. In that case, we just got to pad out our own episode then. And that's not smart for the rest of the general public. So you see that, anyone else watching this later, because no ones of people are participating, it's on us to pad it out. So, let's talk about those good cups of coffees at gas stations when you're on those cross-of-the-country trips. You stop at a gas station and the coffee looks good, and it is good. Those are what drive you to risk it for the biscuit on those bad cups. Because yes, maybe Farmer Freddy, okay, working in Timbuktu, takes pride in his coffee, or maybe he drinks it throughout his shift. Maybe management kept getting on him like, hey, stop dumping out the 12-hour-old coffee and making new coffee. Customers need to buy that. He's like, you know what? I drink coffee on my shift, so I'm not going to leave that crappy coffee there. They're like, well, at least brew your fresh coffee in a different pot and then keep your pot behind the counter and sell it to them. He's like, oh, that's a great idea. So anyhow, so he's got his fresh coffee and whatnot that he brews and he takes pride in. But on occasion, he forgets when a pot is freshly brewed and it's still sitting there and a customer comes in. He can't run over there and grab that pot from in front of him and take one from out of a refrigerator and set it up there and be like, here's the new one. Nope, that window is sailed. That ship is sailed. He has to wait until that customer leaves and do the old bait and switch on the next one. But say they get a cup of that good coffee. It's what drives the next one to be purchased somewhere down the road, somewhere later on, somewhere on another cross-country event. It's not like on every cross-country trip or travel or experience or excursion, you stop at every gas station and get a new cup of coffee. Unless you're some sort of weirdo. You could probably make a pretty awesome stream or something about that, or a show where you just go and you buy something at every business you pass. Like, you wouldn't get far in some places, and you'd probably get tired of it or really poor really fast. Some places are expensive. Have you seen how much Arby's charges for their sandwiches now? It's not 5 for $5 anymore. We wrote a song about it. We actually played it before. We think. It's probably posted. I don't know. We're not going to find you the link or anything because that sounds like work and we don't know where the hell it is. Somewhere in the shorts. There's a lot of those. They might not be good, but there's a lot of them. Point is that, you know, Arby's, they used to do a 5 for $5 regular roast beef sandwiches. Okay? And you might be saying, well, yeah, $5 was worth a lot more back then. And that may be the case, but you know what we don't have more of now than we had then? $5. So, while $5 might not be worth the same amount, that's still all we got. So you jerk faces raising those prices on your roast beef sandwiches, your delicious roast beef sandwiches, Arby's, let's be honest, you know, we can't go there anymore. Because our $5 only buys us like one sandwich. You think we're going to eat one sandwich when we were privy to the 90s greatness of 5 for $5? No. We'll just see if our friends are going one day. Okay, our friend is going one day and be like, hey, you should buy us Arby's. We'll be like, for the last time, sir, this is an Uber service. We're not friends. Be like, well, if that's the case, then why did you show up when I called you? You know? And that's just how it goes. But how it also goes is we're going to finish off the rest of this. So, yes, all ones of you just joining us, if you have any further interactions with a crappy internet celebrity that you would like to embark upon, now is your chance to throw it into the chat of the box, and we will do our best to philosophically analyze it and give you back everything that you desire for your daily needs. But if not, now's your chance to get out of here before us, because we're chilling on this cold-ass coffee here, and it's time to go ahead and swill it down and, get to dip setting. So, last chance and opportunity for you to interact with a not good internet celebrity. Feel free to add it in the chat box while we finish this. Ugh. Now it's cold because we waited too long to drink it. Excellent. Let's see all the participation that has not come in. Ah, yes. Okay. Well, it's still on us to pad out everything. Well, what we are padded out of is coffee. So, like we said, now's your chance to get out of here before us. If you hung out for any or all of it, thanks for kicking it and hanging around. If not, smart. But that's it. That's all we got for you today. So, we don't need your subscription. We want your money. So, download the shit out of this and give us a buck. Get off our lawn!